the unique qualities that Pioneer had in terms of their own display technologies and bringing them into the Elite product. In fact, one of the things that we're particularly proud of is there's a mode that has been developed specifically for the Elite television that we call Elite Pure mode, and that's done to emulate that of what was now revered as probably up until this point the finest television available in the Kuro Elite Plasma line. We're able to emulate that kind of picture quality and look, and that also is a statement to the kind of work that the two companies have done together to really create what is a very, very unique television. Russ mentioned that it's friendly for the custom channel. We're really proud that we have THX certification, both 2D and 3D. We also have ISF certification. In fact, Joel Silver was very, very involved with our Japan engineers in terms of developing out some really flexible ways to adjust this television. So it's ISF friendly, and everybody that's touched it in that ISF community to this point has been extremely impressed with the picture quality and the capabilities of the television. It is a smart TV, fully featured with all of the most popular connected TV features like a Netflix, Vudu, Pandora, and many others. And then finally, it is a 3D, as I mentioned, 3D THX certified television. So full on, this is brought to market to represent the very, very utmost in terms of picture quality and feature set. I think one of the things that you'll notice very, very clearly is the black levels and the contrast ratio that make the picture quality so unique. Something that I'd like to actually introduce Brad Lyons, one of our key trainers and Elite specialists, to come up and talk to you a little bit more about the technology behind the Elite television and to give you a demonstration. So with that, I'd like to introduce Brad. Thank you.
How you doing? My name's Brad Lyons. I'm a National Training Manager for Sharp Electronics. A lot of people ask, why is there a Sharp trainer up here talking about an Elite television? We mentioned the collaboration together. That's a very important aspect of this project. What we did is we took some of the best engineers from Pioneer, some of the best engineers from Sharp, put them together and said, build the best TV in the world. The reference television was that Pioneer Elite Pro from about 3 years ago that was mentioned before as well. We had no budget for these engineers whatsoever, which is always a dangerous thing to give engineers, a limitless budget. But what we said was we'd figure out the price of the television on the back end, and we developed this particular television. The reason why we carried that Elite name is because of 25 years of excellence. They've made the best receivers in the world, best speakers in the world, best front projections in the world, best plasmas in the world. Now they make the best LED in the world. And that's the thought process behind why I carried that Elite badge. Turn the lights down. Key to Pioneer, especially that Elite Pro television, was the black levels were second to none. That was the reference television for about 5 years straight. What we knew we needed to do was have an exceptional black level. I like to point to this TV here. Is this TV on or off? Pretty easy question. It is definitely on. The one thing I do like to mention is I actually turned the blue light off so you can defeat that. So if you're looking for a perfectly black television in the room, you can. We'll go ahead and switch on the PowerPoint presentation. Now you can tell the TV was on. No need to activate the power button or anything such as that. So you get to see just how impressive that black level can be. I'm not going to go over this because it's been talked about already a couple times, so we'll move on. The thing that sets this television apart from everything else in the world is something called IVC, or Intelligent Variable Contrast. This makes up a couple of friendly things from Sharp, a couple of friendly things from Pioneer kind of mixing together. The first you'll notice is RGB plus Y. It's going to be something fairly similar to Quatron, except it's been enhanced for this particular television. I kind of like to say it's Quatron on steroids, because it is truly developed to enhance the performance of this television here. The next thing is Precision Color Plus. If you know much about RGB plus Y, we've added an additional 2 million dots to the screen. So no other manufacturer in the world will have 8 million dots to produce the image. Everyone else will only have 6 million. With that additional dot count, we now have control of every single one of those individual dots. So not only do we have 8 million dots, but we have the ability to control each and every one of those 8 million. So when you're dealing with text and fine detail, it will stand out as a sharper television versus anything else out there. It is a full array LED. The reason why we picked LED is when those engineers got together, we knew one thing. Pioneer, they don't manufacture televisions anymore. They don't have the capability to do so. So if we were trying to outsource plasma panels, we wouldn't know the type of quality we'd get. We knew exactly what type of quality we could get from that 10th generation manufacturing facility from Sharp. It's the most advanced manufacturing facility in the world. No one else has a 10th generation facility. Both of these panels come directly out of there. It has a full array LED with local dimming. The reason why we picked full array is a pretty simple concept. When you're dealing with televisions this large, it's very difficult to edge light the televisions properly. You get something called hot spots and cold spots. We decided to do a full array to completely eliminate that issue altogether. We've also done local dimming, which is a huge advantage for overall black levels. It's part of the performance you're going to see here. And we'll go ahead and start playing the clip to get an idea of what to look for. A couple of ways I like to explain the color advantage of Quatron. The first is pretty simple. If you know much about printers, low-end printers or entry-level printers have 3 colors. High-end printers have up to 8 in industrial printing. Why do they do that? It's a pretty simple concept, to accurately reproduce the image. The exact same kind of concept happens with televisions, except it's much more difficult to do because you have to add an additional 2 million dots each time you add a color to the television, instead of just adding an ink color and changing mathematical algorithms. You can see the color definitely stands out. Now you're going to start getting into a little bit more of the dark scenes. The one thing I want you to definitely focus on is going to be the black areas of the screen to be able to see just how well this panel performed versus, again, anything else in the industry. I would certainly encourage you to take your reference television that you think is your reference television now, place this side by side to it, and take a look at what you see. I think you'll definitely be surprised by the differences of the Elite versus what's out there today. This truly is an elite product. I think the technical term is inky blacks. Take a look at the top up there, it definitely stands out. And then you're also going to have some very good bright areas as well. With intelligent variable contrast, we're also able to intensify the power and the light output of the LEDs in the bright area. That's why you see in the brighter areas it's going to stand out as being even brighter than normal. One of the more difficult things to show on any LED TV is a starry night or fireworks. Reason being, there's some very, very minute bright areas surrounded by very deep blacks. And as you can see, the panel still holds up in those type of atmospheres. So take a look here also. That's where the intensification of those LEDs behind are taking place with that IVC, or the intelligent variable contrast. So it seems more like a light actually shining towards you, like you would normally see in a real world situation. It doesn't look like a picture. Again, if you're in a perfectly black room, the overall panel completely disappears into the darkness of the room itself. Now what we're going to do is show an actual demo of how to separate IVC from, again, everything else in the world. You grab a remote control, hit the menu button, go to picture settings, you will see intelligent variable contrast setting right here. When I select this, you'll see advanced low, advanced middle, and advanced high. As I walk up that ladder, take a look at what happens to your bright areas. The overall brightness of the bright areas gets brighter. It's a lot of bright. We keep going down, you'll notice the bright areas get darker. But the real key here is take a look at your black levels in the background. They do not change. And that's what separates this TV from every other TV in the world. Now if we go to just your normal local dimming, what you're going to do is actually turn off intelligent variable contrast and just let local dimming perform itself. You'll notice that the brightness, overall brightness, will definitely decrease. So now this looks more like a picture of a light bulb as opposed to moving up the ladder, an actual light bulb shining in your eyes. And that will also help with kind of a 3D effect to the image itself. I don't know why you would ever do this, but you do have the capability of turning local dimming off. As you can see, the overall grays now, or overall blacks are now gray. This is what you're going to see on almost every LED in the industry.
What was the plasma corollary be of local dimming, or did they not need?
One more time, I'm sorry.
What was the plasma corollary of local dimming, or did plasma not need local dimming?
That doesn't really need it, but there's
Yes.
technology behind
The
it.
dry volt, the idle voltage would be the similar thing. How much voltage generate the least amount of light when maybe the pixel's not supposed to be. So it'd be similar.
So some of the lower performing plasmas have more idle energy.
Yeah, the idle energy was higher, so they couldn't produce the deep blacks.
And that's what gave it that gray
So
glow,
what
similar to what you're
what's,
seeing here.
what's still the gap between the best plasmas and the best LED LCD?
I've seen this side by side, every TV in the industry, including plasmas, and I think this outperforms it. I would encourage you to do the same.
So
And it outperformed.
PHs, I would agree with that.
Here, there was a Curo here.
I had it sitting next to
Yeah.
a
All right.
6-inch Curo.
I've
And
seen
you
it
like
side,
this
I've seen
better?
it side by
I
side as
did
too.
for black
Many of your
levels, for
viewers out there
brightness.
have Curos on around.
The brightness will blow the Cura away. The one thing,
I see what you mean.
and detail as well will be a big difference also. And that's the one thing that shocked me was the overall detail of this. Again, 8 million dots to create the image definitely stood out. Going back up again, you'll see that grayish tone. We'll move back up to local dimming on, and then up the ladder. The reason why we have advanced low and advanced high, as an example, advanced low seems to be very good for a dark room. If you're in a room with a lot of ambient light, you can go ahead and move that all the way up to high. And it still looks very, very good. A couple of other things we're going to show here. We'll go into our AV modes. We'll go ahead and select this here. We do have an Elite Pure mode, and this is made to mimic that Pioneer Elite Pro from a few years back. If you move on down the ladder, you'll notice some changes in the overall picture. Most importantly here, THX certified television in both 2D and 3D mode. I don't think you can name another LED in the industry right now that's capable of doing that. Just for the fun of it, and I love to do this because you get to see how bright this TV can actually get. We'll go to our dynamic fixed or scorch or torch mode. And you'll actually get to see just how bright this television can get. Again, if you have this setting next to anything in the industry, it will not be brighter. Part of that has to do with that additional yellow subpixel. Yellow is a very, very bright pixel overall, brighter than red, green, or blue, so we can actually juice that up a lot. The other advantage to that, though, is if you are in a normal type of brightness area, such as this here, much easier on the eye. This will be amongst the most energy efficient TVs in the world because we now no longer have to drive our LEDs as intensely. To give you a comparison, the Energy Star sticker on this TV, $22 per year. That's about what all the average 55-inch competitors out there have. And this is a 70-inch screen. So a big, big difference there. All right, next thing we're going to walk through is the 3D functionality. This I think is very important as well. The TV does ship with 2 pairs of glasses in the box. It is an active shutter glass television. The real reason for that is pretty simple. The larger and larger these TVs get, the more important resolution is. So you want 1080p to each eye. Go ahead and start the movie. There's a 3D button on the remote control right where my thumb is. We'll go ahead and select that. This is not a 3D movie, so what I'm going to do is make it into a 3D movie by doing 2D to 3D up conversion. We'll select that, and you'll notice it's going to go into that 3D mode. A couple of options that are my favorite is C. You go ahead and select C on the remote. You will notice a convert effect, so I can now intensify my overall 3D effect or go all the way down to a very subtle. And this all depends on the type of content you're actually playing on the television. If you have great content, you can go all the way up to +16 and have no problems. If you have lesser quality content, you can leave it at maybe a +5 and it will still give you that 3D effect with no issues with crosstalk at all. The other nice advantage is if you go to A, you're going to see 3D brightness boost. Right where my thumb is here, we'll select that, and as you can see, this is good content to be able to show this, but 3D can get very, very bright. If I go to low, you'll see how just dark it can get. So for a room like this, low might be fine. For a room with a lot of ambient light, I can go all the way up to high. So you no longer really have issues with ambient light when you're watching 3D. Why that's important? Active shutter glasses. A cuts, I think, the light by about 50 to 75%, roughly. The big advantage to these glasses, and this is something proprietary to Sharp, so this TV was able to incorporate it as well, is there's a little switch on the left-hand side of the glasses, right where my finger is now. If I go up once, that'll put the glasses in 2D mode. If I go up twice, it'll put the glasses in 3D mode. So what does that mean? You can be watching 2D while you watch 3D on the same TV at the same time. So people that get viewer fatigue or headaches or eye strain, all they have to do is slide that slide rail down one, and they'll be able to watch in 2D while not disrupting the rest of the people watching 3D. A huge selling point, and that's something that only the Elite televisions and some of the Sharps will have. Moving along, this is a smart TV as well. It's Wi-Fi built in, no need for an additional dongle. It'll already be built into the television. What I'll do is I'll hit my apps button. First I'm going to get out of 3D because it's a little blurry.
3D apps.
That's real easy to do. Hit the 3D button and hit yes, and it'll go back to your original content.
That makes it easy.
Apps button again. You'll see all the different apps that are available. You'll have Voodoo, YouTube, Cinema Now, Blockbuster, Alpha Line. We will have Skype as well. It's a huge advantage. We can go all the way up to my favorite, which is Elite Advantage Live. This again separates this particular television with everything else in the world. When you select this, you will get a 1-800 number that's dedicated specifically for Elite and a connection number for your television. That 1-800 number you then call, a human being will pick up in the Chicago, Illinois area. So it's not an outsourced customer service department. It's based right here in the United States. They will ask for that connection number. When you give them that connection number, they then can remotely access your TV through the internet. So anything that I can do with this remote control standing here now, they can do from Chicago, Illinois. As an example, my skin tones look a little bit red. Can you fix it? They can go through that Ethernet or internet connection onto your TV and make the adjustment for you. That's available for the life of the television at no additional cost. So it's a very good selling point to the customers that don't know a heck of a lot about TVs. That's generally about 95% of the population out there. This is what we call our Elite technology hierarchy. If you take a look, intelligent variable contrast is what separates this again from every other TV in the world. We have RGB plus Y, Precision Color Plus. Again, it's coming out of the most advanced facility in the world. Fluid motion, full array LED with the local dimming. There's some proprietary stuff in there as well that helps eliminate any of that halo effect that you've had in the past with a full array local dimming LED TV. If you want more information, feel free to go to www.elitelcdtvs.com.